Hey everybody, my name is Will, and today I will be teaching you how to warm up on the euphonium. Now, I've been told that we should go over our exercises 7 and 5 within the chop busters. I'd like to start on chop busters exercise 7. So while you're pulling that out, let's just talk about exercise number 7. I think it's a good exercise because it's a nice slow exercise that only moves in a half step motion, right? From B flat to B to A flat. Those are half steps. Now when we do this exercise, let's set the metronome to 100 beats per minute. We're going to give the metronome 4 beats before we play, and we're going to take a nice big breath on the 4th beat. Play along with me, alright? 100 beats per minute on the metronome. Exercise number 7. 1, 2, ready? Now that's exercise number 7. I think that's a great exercise to get warmed up and start off with our warm-up. Now let's move to exercise number 5. This looks like a chromatic scale starting on E flat. Now if you don't know what a chromatic scale is, that's okay, don't get intimidated. It's just a scale that moves in half steps. So from E flat to E natural to F sharp, it only moves in half steps. So all the notes are very close together. Now again, we're going to do this at 100 beats per minute, but if you need to, feel free to pause the video and play it at a slower metronome marking. 1, 2, ready? Now when I played those, I played them all slurred, just because I thought it was a little bit easier to play the exercises slurred first, and then you can go back and add the tongue as you choose. Now let's move on to our exercise within the elementary warm-ups packet. And today we're going to be working with Unit 3. Unit 3 is an E flat major. Now, if we remember correctly from our scale study, E flat major has 3 flats. Now, for our instruments, those are going to be B flat, E flat, and A flat. Now, let's take a look at Unit 3 E flat major, the MSL warm-up page. It starts off with exercise number 1, long tones A. So take a full breath when you're doing these exercises, because it can be really easy to take these little sippy breaths and play extra quiet when we're in quarantine because we're worried about maybe people hearing us in the living room and like interrupting them watching TV or something. It's not a big deal. Just play your horn. I'm sure people love to hear it. So again, we're going to be doing these exercises at 100 beats per minute. All right. And so that means we have our metronome set to 100 beats per minute, and we're giving each exercise 4 beats before we play, and we're breathing on the 4th beat. So let's start that on exercise number 1, Unit 3, E flat major. 1, 2, ready? Great job. Now, if you need to give that exercise another try, feel free to pause the video, move your metronome a little bit slower because that can make the exercise more approachable, and then try the exercise again. Then resume the video and move on to the next exercise with me. Now let's go to long tones B, exercise 2. I think this is a lot like the other exercise that we just played, except it's backwards. It's flipped around. Here, you'll probably notice it while we play. Let's give it a shot. Ready? 1, 2, ready. Now, playing these exercises with good posture and hand position is very important. There's a note above this exercise that reminds you to do that. It's going to make sure you get a good sound out of your instrument. Now, let's focus on exercise number 3, the 5-note scale. This is a lot like our regular scale, except it only uses 5 notes. So using the first 5 notes of the scale in this exercise, we're going to start with half notes, just going up and down, and then quarter notes at the end before we land on that 4-beat whole note. So feel free to sing and finger these exercises, number 3 and 4, and honestly all the way throughout. Feel free to pause the video and then sing and finger along with me while I play it, then go back, resume the video, and then play through the exercise on your horn. It's just a good idea to sing and finger everything first, so you can hear it in your head before you try to play it on the horn. Ready? Exercise number 3. 100 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready? Now, let's move to exercise number 4. Now, this one could be very important to sing and finger first because it follows a certain pattern that might throw you off. So, listen to me play it the first time, then rewind the video and go through and play with me so that you can hear the pattern that I do. Listen to the last 2 notes of each bar so that you can hear that it doesn't follow maybe just the same simple stepwise motion that you're used to. We're going to do this again at 100 beats per minute. Now that was Twister A. Let's move on to exercise Twister B. Now again, listen to the exercise played by me first, and then go ahead and sing and finger along, and then go ahead and put your horn to your face and try the exercise, just so you can make sure you get this tricky pattern down. Also, try to connect the notes with a legato articulation. This exercise I'll use a more legato articulation for, so it's going to sound a little bit more smooth. Ready? 1, 2, ready? Now, if you heard, all the notes were kind of touching each other. They sounded connected. Let's move to exercise 6. This is an exercise that moves in thirds. So each note is a major third away from each other. Here, if you don't know what a major third is, just listen to me play the exercise, pause it, and then go back and try it, just like the last one. 1, 2, ready? Now, some of us aren't used to playing thirds, so we might have to practice that exercise very slowly to practice our muscle memory. Muscle memory can help you learn things over time. It just kind of gets your muscles locked into doing the same thing on the euphonium. Now let's try to make these intervals a little bit larger. We're going to go from playing thirds to playing intervals like fourths and even fifths in this exercise. So let's see if we can do that with exercise 7. But however, since these exercises are getting a little bit more challenging, let's bump the metronome down to 90 beats per minute, just to cut ourselves some slack as we play these exercises. You never want to tire yourself out during a warm-up because the warm-up is supposed to prepare you to play. So exercise 7, expanding intervals, 90 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready? Now don't forget, always empty your spit if you hear your, or your condensation valve, if you hear your instrument kind of rattling while you play. But great job with exercise 7. Let's move to exercise 8. This is called the range extender because we've got some new notes in this exercise. So we've added the 6th scale degree, which happens to be C in our E flat major scale, and the fingering for that is going to be open. Now we're going to do exercise number 7 at 90 beats per minute. Ready? Great job. I think we're ready to move on to exercise number 8. Now before we do exercise number 8, make sure you label your new note. It looks like in this exercise we're going to be playing a C, which is fingered with the first valve, and we're going to be playing a D natural, which is fingered 1 and 2. Now that's in the last bar, the D. So with our new notes labeled, let's go through with exercise number 8 at 90 beats per minute. Ready? 1, 2, ready? Great job. Now if you did well with that exercise, you're ready to move on to exercise number 9. Make sure you, before you play exercise number 9, you label your new notes, and it doesn't say how you can label your new notes, but however helps you remember. Maybe if you're good with the fingerings, you could write the fingering over top of the note, or you could just write the letter name if that helps you. But whatever kind of label helps you over the top of the note, I like to use fingerings. Just write it in over top of the note, and it should help you as your eyes move across the music page. So let's start with exercise number 9, and this is the full scale. So it might take us a couple tries to learn the full scale, and we might even have to move it down past 90 beats per minute. But just so you can play it along with me, I'm going to be doing it at 90 beats per minute. Ready? 1, 2, ready? And that is our warm-up for the day. I'm feeling pretty ready to start practicing, and it feels, I feel pretty loose. It feels like I can hit most of the notes on my horn, and I'm ready to face the E flat key signature. It's always a good idea to warm up in the key that you're about to play. Now that's just a tip. You don't have to remember that, but you can use it as you practice if you want, maybe. Until next time, just keep practicing. Bye-bye.